So Pete and Jess, Pete's my co-founder at Fable, and Pete, Jess, and I have worked together for 5 years. It's my great honor to welcome them to the stage.
Hello, I'm Jessica. This is Pete, and this here is Lucy. Lucy is a virtual reality character who is based on Neil Gaiman's children's book, Wolves in the Walls. She is the product of artists, of engineers, game designers, theater directors, writers, and many more experts, actually many people who are in the audience today. And their mission was simple. And that is, how do you care and form a living, breathing relationship with an 8-year-old virtual character? Why should we care about her? And just as important, how does she care for us?
So we started by breaking down this question into little micro detail. First, how do you create this compelling, reactive virtual character that can engage the audience, that can interact emotionally, and who can change her performance based on the choices that the audience makes? That was a particularly hard one. And this is what we ended up creating.
You heard it too. You do, don't you? Hello. But up here, in the attic, the sounds were the loudest, especially in the dark. You did it! You got through.
So the question is, how does this virtual character, Lucy, show she cares for us? And who are we to Lucy? Who is the audience? Well, we are Lucy's friend. She confides in us. She tells us her deepest secrets, and she relies on us. She'll pass and share objects with us, like her grandmother's favorite camera, and then she'll take it back, making that physical contact between objects. She will engage with us. She'll track our eye and our body movement. She knows where we are in space, just as I would with a friend over coffee. And she adapts to audience proximity, and her behavior is always warm and natural. She follows social conventions. So it's as if you're with another person who is fully present in that moment with you.
And since we had the ability to use our hands in this experience, it meant that the audience's decision impacted the story, and they also directly impacted Lucy, which for us kind of truly defined it as a reciprocal relationship. And that has a ton of implications in how we had to design her and ultimately how we built her. The fact that both of us exist in the same space meant that we would have to interact with each other, and we discovered the best way to do that without distracting you from the narrative or the story or her goals is to do that in a very natural and intuitive way. So we came up with sort of a set of pillars for how we wanted to interact with her. So these are interactions that connect us to a character, like handing an object back and forth, or inviting us to escort a character. So if she disappears behind a dark corner, you might move your body and lean to see that she's safe. Things that directly help or hinder her story. So here we're making a potion to protect her little precious pig puppet. And I guess it's up there for you guys. And then things that we do without thought or hesitation. This is like flipping on the light switch when you come into a room, just connecting you to her and connecting you to the space. We also utilize fail states to shape her personality. So every choice you make, regardless of whether it's a good one or a bad one, is an opportunity for Lucy to tell you a little bit more about herself and her world. So whether you're clumsy or hesitant, she might have this little remark or quip that will nudge you along the way. And we never want you to feel inadequate or like you're making a wrong choice. We don't want her to feel like a robot where she waits for the story to continue or waits for you to do something. And we've all had that moment in a video game where the character is just sort of huddling there, waiting for you to push a button. So we measure metrics inside the experience, and we have this intention interest system, which can determine how long she'll wait before moving on to another thought. She knows where you're looking. She knows if you're about to reach for something. And this keeps the experience moving for an attentive audience and might slow it down for those at risk of not keeping up with her. It also helps discourage people from searching for all the little seams in the illusion. But in the end, you just kind of want to be her friend.
And we were surprised that even with early prototypes, people just respected Lucy's space. Even the anarchists on our team, we always laugh about this, which was pretty shocking to us all. And I think that's because this experience is founded on the principle that you respect this character and that you trust each other. This relationship isn't one-sided. You see her, and she sees you. She needs you. It's an experience about togetherness, but it's also about a girl who has an objective goal and life outside of her relationship with you. You are on her terms and in her world, and you see the world through her eyes. We go so far as to rescale you to Lucy's height, which you're seeing in this video right now, and this creates this intimate bond and connection, so you are literally seeing the world through her eyes. People often say this relationship with her takes them back to their childhood, that Lucy feels like an old friend or reminds them of their daughter or even their sister.
So when we first started showing this project, we really didn't have any idea if people would appreciate what we were trying to do. Originally, we thought it was about creating a virtual reality character, but for us, it's kind of turned into something much, much bigger. We're super fascinated with the idea of memory, of awareness, of a fluid continuity and a trusting relationship. So the idea of a character who can experience and then store those memories, recall them, and then tailor the next encounter accordingly to the thing that we did before, it has these vast implications. We could have relationships with characters that could evolve over decades, and we've heard multiple people talk about that today. We could have conversations that are natural and they flow with unique dialogue and have like their own certain pacing. We want to better understand our audience so that we can create relationships that form these complex emotional bonds, where we can learn and grow from each other, face our fears together, and share our dreams. We're hopeful for a future where someone as brave and as admirable as Lucy is always there for us. And we're super excited to share the journey with all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.